What up, everybody? It's 313 J-Mo back with another video for y'all, and we're gonna talk about my expectations for Stafford, your expectations for Stafford, and what the fan base as a whole should expect from Matthew Stafford in the 2019 season. Alright, let's get into it. First, we gonna start with some numbers. I'm only bringing up the numbers because I want to let y'all know the perception and the expectation for the season. If you look at some of the numbers, there's a lot of correlations to where your expectations should be. Okay, year A, 4,200, 60% completion, 22 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 85 passer rating. Year B, 377, 66 completion percentage, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 89 passer rating. Now, if you look at that, the completion percentage in year B is better. The passer rating in year B is better. But year A is lower. The touchdowns and interceptions are very similar. But you know the one thing about year A and year B? Year A, Matthew Stafford was seen as having a great season. Year B, he was seen as having a terrible one. Now, year B is clearly the season from last year because y'all know that he didn't throw for 4,000 yards. And year B is 2014. One of the best seasons of Matthew Stafford's career. His numbers and his stats weren't actually that good. And when we talk about expectations, I feel like the team around you, the coaching around you also factors in, because if Matthew Stafford had that defense from 2014 last year, we definitely would have won 10 games. So let's go into balancing this out and analyzing every little part about my expectation, because you have to be realistic about these things. You have to, you have to be unbiased about these things, and you have to look at everything outside looking in, and you got to put it all together. Okay, so we're gonna base this off the coaching, what we did in the off season, and what we got on the current roster, because to me, those aren't all of the things, but those are three of the main things, along with depth, that matter. Okay, let's start with the coaching. First of all, you got rid of JBC. You got rid of him. So the addition by subtraction with Jim Bob Cooter being gone, yes, y'all, I'ma say his name. The addition by subtraction with him being gone is a huge plus for us now. So when you look at it, and you replaced a guy who was never a coordinator before, youngest coordinator ever, and you just replaced him with a coordinator that's won a Super Bowl, and not just won a Super Bowl. After that, they won playoff games. They went back to the Super Bowl. They kept winning playoff games. They kept winning big games. They kept having the right system to win these games with the offense and the defense, and the coordinator, Darrell Bevell, plays a huge part in that. And then you also have to think about Matt Patricia's in year 2 now. He's more focused. He's had a full off season, and he's been able to fully ingratiate himself, fully put all of his energy into running this football team for a full off season, and he's getting the players that he wants, the players that he needs. And then the special teams coordinator got changed. We got a new run coordinator now. All of those things factor in. Now, when you look at last year, things weren't going like that. We still had JVC. We had Matt Patricia in his first year of coaching. We had a bad special teams coordinator. A lot of the coordinators that we did have to improve the football team, they weren't as good or as ready as you would be going into the second year in a certain specific system. So year 2, for a lot of people, a lot of minute changes that we've made, that matters compared to last year, which is why your expectations would be higher this year, because you see the stability with all the coaching. All right, we're going to move on to talking about all the things that the Lions did in the offseason and how it factors in. Last year, you got Romeo Okwara, I think Devin Kennard. You got, I think, a O-lineman. I mean, we didn't do that much in the offseason. I know some other few moves that I didn't highlight, but we didn't do that much. So your expectations going into that season, I realistically feel, even though I was one of the Lions fans that had us with a better record, but considering everything that happened going into that year, our expectations should have been an 8-8 team. And I feel like the only reason we weren't 8-8 is because we sat Kerryon out after he got healthy. So that, that Bills game, the Rams game, games that we could have won, we didn't win them. So we were lower, 6-10. And when you look at this free agency, the tight end position was the worst position on the team. What we do, we got TJ, we got Jesse James. We replaced Ziggy Ansah with Trey Flowers. We replaced Nevin Lawson with Justin Coleman. We loaded up on the defensive back room, and we got another running back to help out Kerryon Johnson, along with adding Danny Amendola and, adding Jelani Tavai that fits our system, and just more pieces that fit our system. Then you should have higher expectations because we had a better offseason. I feel like we had a better draft than last year just because we had more picks. So this is why your expectation to be higher, and I'm telling you why it should be that way. Because it's based on the moves that our football team has been doing, and that goes all in with Stafford having higher expectations this season compared to last season, only because what's around him this year is much better than last year. And then that's when we're going to get into the roster. I mean, I feel like this roster is loaded at most spots. Especially on the offense. We just gonna focus on the offense because regardless of what Stafford does this year, I guarantee the defense will be a top 10 defense. So the defense is gonna hold up their end of the bargain, unless they end up giving up in the middle of the season because we're a bad team. So I'm not gonna even talk about the defense. I already dwelled on Matt Patricia and special teams and all of that matters. But let's talk about the offense. Okay, so Rick Wagner is still starting. TJ Lang is gone, so somebody got to fill in that right guard spot. So the offensive line, the continuity, it being in tip-top shape, we're about 70% sure on that. I'm about 70%, 80% sure on that, so that's still up in the air. But you're going to have, I firmly believe Stafford will have a full year of Kerryon Johnson healthy. I believe CJ Anderson will be healthy, Zach Zenner, and Ty Johnson, if he's in that backfield. I just feel like the offensive tools that is around him because of the tight ends with TJ and Jesse James, and you still have Amendola, Kenny G, Marvin Jones. I do feel like he has way more weapons this year, more explosiveness at his disposal than last year. And like I said again, even if the play calling was average next year, it's better because Jim Bob Cooter was just completely terrible. So my expectation for Matthew Stafford, I'm going to give you my bottom level expectation, and I'm going to go up in order. My bottom level expectation is win 10 games. Then my next expectation will be win a playoff game. And then my next expectation would be win a division and a playoff game and win more than 10 games. Now, I know you like, why am I putting like levels to this? Because if the season ends up not successful, I'm gonna go back to this. What were my in order? What is the minimum that I think Stafford has to do? Now, and I'm gonna break down what I said too. Most people want win or bust, and I understand all of that, but every season is different. It's hard to win in the NFL. And at the base, I'm like, dog, Stafford, with this roster, unless something drastic happened health-wise, you need to win 10 games. The way I feel, every season a quarterback needs to put his team in position to win a playoff game. We win 10 games, we should be a wild card or win the division, and we should be in a position to win the playoff game. Now, the quarterback definitely plays a part in winning that game, but as we all know, if you don't run the ball or play defense in the postseason, you got trash coaching in the postseason, you don't win playoff games. Then after that is winning a playoff game. I know we all been waiting on it. I know fans hunger for it. I know this is the reason some fans don't believe in Stafford. It's all good, man. When another quarterback comes in here and he gets crushed and murdered and he's never healthy, you'll understand what Stafford went through. But winning that playoff game and then it's winning the division. I definitely think the Lions will win the division, but do I expect them to win the division? No. Honestly, what I expect from Stafford is 10 years. I was about to say 10 years is 10 games in a playoff. I'm basing all of that based on what I see around Stafford. We should be in with the schedule. We should be able to win 10 games, and we should be able to finally get over that, hump and winning the playoff game. Winning the division is definitely a serious expectation, but things have been happening with that. I definitely expect a division title in a playoff win. So you're like, well, Stafford doesn't deliver, then what? Well, I've always been of the mindset, if nothing happens drastically and that offensive line protects Stafford, this the kind of year I'm feeling like he don't have no excuses. We got to see what happens in the season. Like, Matt Patricia's coaching terrible or something, that's different. But I think he has all the tools for success, and then if he doesn't, then it is what it is. You're not going to see me go on some Stafford defending spree if he has all these tools at his disposal and he fails to deliver. But I know Stafford, man. Last time he had tools half of this was 2014. And, you know, way back in 2011. So I know he's going to deliver. And it's 313 J-Mo. That's all I got for y'all. Let me know your expectations for Stafford. I'm out of here.